Many teachers who have quit.
30, 20, 25.
Teachers are quitting by the masses.
Teachers that were just colleagues of mine were in tears coming to me saying, I'm so glad you got out. I'm so glad you got out.
Educators are quitting their jobs in alarming numbers. Schools are missing hundreds of thousands of staff, and more than half of educators say they're thinking of leaving.
And I resigned my position as teacher.
I submitted my resignation last week.
I will be leaving Gwinnett County Schools.
So why are they so desperate to get out? Teaching was never easy, right?
It's not the way it used to be.
Was it COVID?
The education crisis was very much here way before COVID.
Are the kids out of control?
And that's not it at all.
This is failure by design. The education system is crumbling because America's politicians made it fail. Underfunded, abandoned during COVID, and vilified in America's vicious culture war. Teachers have had enough. The real losers are the kids.
So this is a box full of stuff that my kids made me. It's a girl that's in darkness and trapped in chains, which is sad because that's how I felt. I was the director of school counseling. It was the largest junior high in Indiana. This is a card of somebody drowning. That's full circle.
Anna Sutter counseled over 600 kids. Her colleagues started quitting and weren't replaced, so
I was doing lunch duty, hallway duty, bus duty. I explain it in the sense that I was spinning 100 plates and I only had the capacity to spin 25 plates. I was working 13-hour days and not sleeping, not eating. But then as soon as one plate fell, just the feeling of failure.
Anna quit in March with no job lined up.
Walking to class, just walking to class, don't mind the shoes, man. Just to go into an empty class with no teacher, this gotta stop, bro.
It is so bad, I want to give you a 0, but that's not possible. So I give you a 1.
There was no sub nor teacher in our class for the whole period.
Millions of kids are showing up to classrooms with no permanent teacher.
We don't have subs, and we're just getting whoever we can get that will come in and basically babysit.
So we had kids academically not doing well. We might have a technology person covering a PE class or social studies covering a math class.
They're calling our bullshit. They know that we're just cycling people through.
We wanted our students to see.
It is time to fully fund public education.
We gonna get it shut down. We gonna get it shut down.
Teachers called out the deepening crisis for years.
Well, I cry bullshit. You don't respect us. If you respected us, you'd listen to us. You don't appreciate us. If you did, you wouldn't make our jobs literally impossible to do.
They pleaded with legislators for decent wages, but nationally, salaries went down.
We are making 10% less money than we were a decade ago.
That's in Indiana. In Missouri, officials just raised the minimum starting salary to $38,000. But it's temporary. They'll go back to $25,000 soon. Know who makes more?
Those aren't even living wages. Those are more starvation wages. And that's why people have to keep 2 and 3 jobs just to survive. I worked at an ice cream shop,
grocery delivery,
a tutor, waited tables,
Uber and Lyft, bouncer.
I work approximately 60 to 70 hours per week. I'm exhausted.
And then came COVID.
They want their kids back in the classroom.
The heated debate over masks is escalating into physical altercations.
Masks weren't the problem. When schools reopened, many kids returned traumatized.
It went from prioritizing student needs to prioritizing crises.
I am expected to be a teacher, to be a counselor, to be a social worker, to be a nurse, to feed, clothe, shelter.
There were times where I had to do 5 suicide assessments in one day.
They missed almost 2 years of being socialized.
Kids were missing basic skills.
They couldn't handwrite because they had done everything virtually.
This is just your reminder to check in on your teacher friends because this shit is not easy.
I'm joining the crying in your car teacher trend. Because you just feel like everything you do is shit.
And educators who actually made it through the last 2 years are facing this.
Please stop the sexual grooming of our children.
You're not gonna let them put the books on the shelf.
Public schools have vivid pornography in it.
It's really frustrating to hear about whether it be how we're indoctrinating or how we're teaching the wrong things or how we need cameras to watch us because we're not doing the right stuff.
Our school system is for educating kids, not indoctrinating kids.
Yeah, Florida had thousands of teacher vacancies this year.
Stop indoctrinating our children.
Stop indoctrinating their kids with crazy messages.
In the last 2 years, over a dozen states have prioritized passing laws to restrict what teachers can teach or even say. Those same states have some of the worst teacher vacancy rates in the nation.
I think that that's absolutely driving a ton of people out of the profession.
By putting censorship first, politicians with their warped priorities are deflecting from the real problem, making sure kids even have teachers.
We rely on teachers to not give a about themselves. We rely on teachers to not care about themselves. We rely on teachers to not know their worth and to not know what they deserve.
When we have no adult in the classroom, it sends a message directly to the kids, and that is, no one really cares about me. If you cared, you'd be here. It feels like abandonment.
I know over 20 teachers who have quit.